Hello, and welcome back. I hope you're listening when you're trying to have a good sleep, because I'm going to try doing a comforting, low-spoken voice. I hear a lot of people like that. It was a tough decision between some whispers or just talking normally, but very low. As usual, I'm probably not going to edit this audio. You're probably going to hear a lot of air conditioners in the background and my cooler as well, and my creaky chair. But it is what it is. We've got lots of questions, so feel free to listen. Feel free to tune all of this out and just go right to sleep. Feel free to not sleep at all and listen to this when you are wide awake and have nothing better to do. Anyway, so let's get started. So, as per usual, apologies if I butcher the name. Shunkado Jet Black Wings asks, "Would you ever play Ponytown with me? You seem like a chill person to hang out with." Smiley face. Oh, I've never played Ponytown before. I don't know when it comes to I don't know what it is. My apologies. If you ever want to play a competitive game, I am the last person you should ask. Got a lot of issues with competition. But other than that, it all depends, I suppose. I don't know if I'm a chill person to hang out with. I'm a little biased because I've been stuck with myself for my entire life. So, no. Maxi0612 asks, "Are you aware that your audios help thousands of people, like myself, with anxiety and stress? You're awesome." Thank you. No, I was not aware of that. Like, I know a lot of people listen, but a lot of the times, sometimes I just kind of forget that some people genuinely like to listen to them for help or comfort or advice, and sometimes I get so caught up in making them that I kind of forget the effect they have on people. But, wow. I'm glad I'm having a positive impact on the world, I suppose. No, you're welcome. I'm really glad they help. The one and only asks if you're comfortable sharing what's your sexuality. Which character are you the most like personality-wise? What's your favorite anime? And favorite band? Favorite band? I don't know. I don't listen to... I listen to a lot of music, but usually I just hear a few songs from a bunch of different bands. I don't really have a favorite. Hold on, where's my phone? There it is. Here, I'll just do what I did last time and read out what's on my offline playlist on YouTube Music, because it just kind of chooses stuff based off of what I've been listening to. Fruiting Bodies by Rip Producer. Also, It Should Have Been Me by Rip Producer. The Guilty Gear Strive OST, Find Your One Way. Lost Ones Weeping, Piano Edition by Jubiphonic. Breaking Me Down by Fabi? Not sure. Love the Subhuman Self, also from Guilty Gear Strive. Pressure by Divide Music. Night City from Relin Artemis Delta. And many, many, many more. My favorite anime? Oh gosh. There's a lot to choose from. I'd say if I had to pick top 3, not necessarily in this order, these are just I really like. I think Castlevania on Netflix, Toradora, and either Demon Slayer or Kill la Kill, both for very different reasons. I'm a fan of sword anime. What can I say? Which character are you the most like personality-wise? That is a difficult question. I don't like to make self-inserts, just because it feels kind of scummy. To me, like, if you want to make a self-insert, that's totally fine. I'm just personally like, oh, I don't want to play myself. That's a bit boring. I guess either like the most similar would likely be either Hunter from Simple Pleasures, the husband from the pregnancy or adoption audio, and I was gonna say Bonnie, but as it stands right now, I'm not a femboy, but in terms of personality, we're very, very similar. And sexuality, I find people that I have crushes on pretty attractive. I'd say that's a good measure of it. Second Cup ASMR asks, do you like raisins? Eye emoji. No, unfortunately, I do not. I've never found raisins particularly tasty. But, nothing wrong with them. They're just not to these taste buds. Daniel asks, I know I should ask something different, but how are you doing? I'm fine. I'm still standing. I had a massive workload dumped on me a few days ago, which stressed me out a lot, but I've made some progress on that. I'm taking a bit of a break at the moment. In a couple of hours, I'm going to be playing D&D with a few friends, assuming they don't cancel. So, things could be better, but things could be so much worse. So, you gotta take the good with the bad. So, I'm alright. I know it's a bit boring, but what kind of music do you like? Well, where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Give me a sec. Let me check my YouTube music tab. I'll read off a few more because this is apparently a very popular question. Rolling Girl by Lalila, whatever. Midnight's Lament remix from Liz Robinette. World Is Yours from Neo, The World Ends With You. And song I can't pronounce the name of. Futasu no Kudo to Akamitsumi? It's a good song, I like it. And We All Live Together from Warframe. Okay. Dark Lord of the Universe asks, what do you do to help yourself feel less anxious or get out of a depressive slump? And if you enjoy cooking, what is your favorite thing to cook and why? To feel less anxious and get out of a depressive slump, usually I take a small break and do some small things. Like, usually the thing that helps me feel better is making progress on something. Making some progress on trying to climb out of the hole. Like, little things. Maybe just doing the dishes real quick, just taking out the trash, cleaning things up a small bit. Cooking also helps me feel a bit better too. Venting about it to people that are willing to listen helps a lot as well. Eating also helps. Just taking care of basic needs or helping other people. Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood or when I'm sad, I like to do something nice for someone else, and that helps me feel better. And yes, I do enjoy cooking. I'm progressively getting better, but for now I'm still not amazing. Honestly, I like making hamburgers. They're very simple. They don't really require that much depth to them, but I just like making them. There's just something really satisfying about sizzling patties. They're a very, very classic meal. Of course, pasta's also fun as well, again, because it's simple. I kind of like simple meals, because that way, they're simple to make, but they're still very good. And you can do other things, like talk to other people, or because sometimes when I'm making patties, I'll be like chopping up lettuce, or some cheese in the background, toasting some buns, or preparing something else, So Axel the MB asks, do you like musical theater? If you do, what's your favorite musical? Personally, I'm not a big fan of musical theater. Nothing against musical theater. Musical theater is a wonderful genre. It's just not for me. I don't particularly enjoy listening to musicals very much. But granted, all the ones I've seen I haven't been a big fan of, so maybe I just haven't seen any good ones. Like, there are some very stellar plays, such as Grease, but the version I saw of it was back in high school, which wasn't the best interpretation. And they were still pretty good. But yeah. Froggy Power asks, who is your favorite character you voiced on the ASMRs? It's hard to pick a favorite, because it's like looking at my children, because I created all of them, and just basically going like, oh, I'm gonna pick a favorite out of all of you. It feels kind of wrong. If I had to pick one I have a lot of fun playing, the sweet characters are fun, like Bonnie and Mitch. They're a lot of fun. The really flirty ones like Niles and Silas are also very enjoyable as well, because sometimes I wish I could be that confident. But it's also very fun to do a really seductive voice. And just be super bold and flirty. you know. So, Morgan Moonlight asks, what has been your favorite series to make so far? Mine was the Demon Succubus Listener one. Ah. Oh, wait. No, I was gonna say so Niles. I'm like, no, that would be Lonely Derry Summons You with Mitch. I don't have a favorite, but for the sake of answering the question, actually, I should pick a favorite. Let me think. My Shoujo Academia was a lot of work, but making 9 videos just for one audio, technically, one entry, was cool. It was a ton of work, but having all those choices was pretty interesting. Plus, it was really fun to collab with another VA. Also, What's Left of Me is still a series that holds a strong place in my heart. It had a lot of, progression, I suppose, and, kind of added on. It was an actual, series, stuff happened and capitalized on the previous entry. Look at me using all these big words. Yeah. Lovely Derry was pretty fun too, because I made a couple of those, monster audios, like the siren and the werewolf and the vampire, but the succubus and incubus one was the only one that got a sequel, because that was one a lot of people enjoyed. And I thought, okay, I'll continue it. I did want to continue the werewolf one, but there's a lot of werewolf audios on YouTube, and that's been pointed out to me a lot, so I feel like I wouldn't be adding anything unique to that. Wowzers asks, who is your favorite YouTuber? What's your favorite color? What's your lucky number? Also, I love you so much. Heart emoji. Thank you. My lucky number? 7. Shout out to the 2 people that are going to get that reference. Favorite color? Green. Green is my favorite color. It always has been. Who is your favorite YouTuber? Oh boy, that... I don't know. There are a lot of constructive criticism channels I like to listen to when I'm drawing, for instance. I listen to a lot of ASMR channels, which I'm not gonna share. I don't really feel comfortable sharing what I listen to in terms of ASMR, but yeah, when I say constructive criticisms, I mean channels like Bricky. I enjoy his content quite a bit, especially his Warhammer content. The Act Man, I like both his Why is Blank So Awesome or So Bad. They're always very fair and very constructive, and very well done as well. There's also some gaming channels I like to watch as well. Yeah, ASMR, gaming, some music. Yeah. I'm probably gonna butcher this one, I'm sorry. Elsinore Nixon? What made you do ASMR and what's your favorite part about it? Well, my favorite part is definitely the creativity aspect behind it, getting to create all these roles and characters and act as them and, put them out for other people to listen to, and the gratification that I'm making an impact on the world, that I'm reaching out to people that need to hear it and helping them either by comforting them or entertaining them. And I think that's what's really important. The passion behind it's great as well, working with other people, trying to make all working together, trying to make the very best product we can. There's nothing else quite like it. What made me start? Listening to other people do it. When I realized how much listening to those kinds of ASMRs and audios helped me when I was going through lonely and depressive periods in my life, I thought I'd kind of like to do the same thing. I enjoy acting. I'd like to make a career out of it. I don't know if I'd call this a career, but it's just I'd like to do something with it, and I'd like to help people at the same time, the same way I was helped. Oh boy, this is a lot of them. Stardust asks, is there a preferred name you would like us to call you? Do you listen to ASMR as well? If so, what's your preferred kind to listen to? What are your favorite kinds of audios to record or scripts to make? Does anyone in your IRL life know that you have this YouTube channel yet? Okay, I'll just do this one at a time. Is there a preferred name you'd like us to call you? Yeah, call me Coffee. Don't call me Muggsy. People call me Muggsy, and that is kind of creepy. I don't like it. So just call me Coffee. And to anyone who knows my name, or, you know, the beginning of my name, because a few people have figured it out, just don't call me by my name. It's very uncomfortable. Call me by my stage name. Call me Coffee. Do you listen to ASMR as well? Yeah, I do. Excuse me. I like to listen to a lot of comfort audios, of course, like confession audios, friends to lovers, but sometimes I like listening to, what's the word? It's kind of like gibberish audio, or nonsensical, which is when they'll say things that is just gibberish, like isa no tako mati kokotaka ma, like that. But I do enjoy that, because sometimes trigger words don't need to mean anything, but they can just feel really nice. I like audios that give me chills. What are your favorite kind of audios to record and scripts to make? If I had to be brutally honest, I do really enjoy making the boyfriend audios. Platonic ones are kind of fun as well. Audios that involve a lot of love, care, intimacy, or trust are great. And I enjoy making these steamier ones as well. Does anyone in your IRL life know about? Yes, a few people do know. A couple of people I trusted with that knowledge, and a few people found out through natural ways. Thankfully, everyone's been really cool about it so far. Only one person ever tried to, actually embarrass me by playing it out loud around a bunch of other people. But that is the farthest it's ever gone. My favorite kind of pastry? I like eclairs. I was not joking in Simple Pleasures. I like eclairs a lot. Or was it Simple Pleasures? Was it Simple Pleasures when I made the chocolate eclair joke? Whatever. They're very, very good. Cookies, do they count as pastries? Well, cookies are just great. They're a classic. Chocolate chip, oatmeal, even oatmeal raisin. I like standard oatmeal because they have a lot of nostalgic value for me. My grandmother used to make them all the time, and she made the absolute best ones. I know that sounds very cliche, but she had a very good recipe. And when we went to visit her, the taste always reminds me of her, and she's very, very sweet and a very supportive person. And yeah, it's kind of more nostalgic, sentimental value. If a blue teddy bear randomly appeared on my bed one day, I guess that depends. If it was just a standard blue teddy bear, I'd probably wonder how it got there and put it in a corner for a little bit to see if it came to life and tried to kill me. And if it didn't, then I'd probably hug it whenever I was lonely. If it was 20 foot tall and took up half my room, I'd probably try to squeeze it out the window, but then maybe see if there's someone I could give it to who needs it more than me. If it was a microscopic teddy bear, I probably wouldn't notice it was there. And if it was a teddy bear that, I guess it depends on how it appears. If it appeared just sitting and staring at me, I'd be a little weirded out, because that means someone deliberately put it there. But as long as it didn't do anything weird, I suppose I could roll with it. Okay. Samu-kun, let's see. Okay, my phone just died. Samu Knights. That took me a second. Samu-kun. Samu Knights. Alright, asks, who is your hero? Not from the movies, but real person. My hero. Oh boy. So, I don't really look up to other people, just because inferiority issues. It's very difficult to do that. Usually I just feel massively jealous of other people instead. But if I had to pick somebody that I usually look to for guidance quite frequently, it would be my sister Pillow. She's the person I go to a lot when I have a lot of problems with stuff. And she's helped me through a lot of things. Yeah. Goro Akechi asks, what do you think is the most relaxing song in the Persona 5 soundtrack? The Persona 5 sound Beneath the Mask. It is my personal favorite. The Hawaii theme I also love as well. Usually makes me tear up whenever I hear it. And Sunset Bridge. Oh boy. If I ever want to feel really nostalgic, I always listen to Sunset Bridge. Where'd my phone go? It fell down. There it is. Would you rather go out with Tsundere Neko Coffee or Sweet Yandere Coffee? Tsundere Neko Coffee. Tsundere Neko Coffee would be kind of mean, and I'm not really attracted to Tsunderes, but I'm more attracted to Tsunderes than I am to Yanderes. Like in Sweet Yandere Coffee's case, he's just incredibly protective, and he'll basically, very possessive. If anyone tries to hurt you, that's when he gets all stabby, but there's just a lingering threat that he'd be totally willing to murk somebody if the situation arose, which would be a little spooky to be around. Plus, people that are overly possessive, I wouldn't really feel safe around. Do you have any anime recommendations? I do not, because anime is very subjective, so what I like, other people may not like. I could recommend the fuck out of Castlevania, Toradora, Kill la Kill, but those are all, very subjective. There are a lot of niche animes. If you don't really like fan service in anime, don't watch Kill la Kill. If you're sensitive to gore, or you're not really particularly fond of religious debates, then don't watch Castlevania. If you're not a fan of romance anime, or straight romance isn't really your thing, then don't watch Toradora. I guess maybe Demon Slayer? I don't know, because Demon Slayer can get kind of gory, but all around it's a pretty solid show. I know some people, same with My Hero Academia, I know some people that are not big anime fans that still really like those shows. Yeah. Stay happy and healthy. Oh, thank you, Rainbow Heart. Grace Snowy asked, what inspired you to do ASMR roleplay, especially since you do multiple videos per pronouns, you don't see that often. So I've already explained what inspired me, but I'll say that one ASMRist I listened to one time made a video that had 2 different versions for separate pronouns, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was very cool of them, so I tried to do the same thing. Admittedly, sometimes it gets a bit excessive, because sometimes, if I have to be honest, there are bits where I want to make a video with just one pronoun, just to take a break, and then I get a huge mob of comments saying, like, wait, can you make a video, make this script, but with these pronouns? Because I don't think what people understand is, in order to do that, I have to re-record an entire script I already did, but just change up, 3 lines, it feels like an unnecessary amount of work, and I could go back and just re-record those segments with the pronouns, but most of the time you can't do that, because it will sound like, hi, how are you doing, buddy? You'll hear, lapses in other people's voices. It's not usually that egregious, but you'll notice that there's a difference in how they sound depending on when it was recorded. With different speeds that are constantly going around. You get the idea. But don't get me wrong, I do understand where everyone's coming from. A lot of the times when I get those kinds of comments, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I could have done it with this pronoun. But sometimes it's I just want to take a break. Don't get me wrong. I like doing it. Partially inclusivity, but also I want to make sure everyone can enjoy it. And I want to make sure that people that are kind of underrepresented in ASMR get some stuff to listen to as well, and I would like to make it so that everyone can listen to what the audios I make without using they them pronouns. If you're non-binary or using they them pronouns, that's perfectly fine. All the more power to you. For me, because I go by he him consistently, gender neutral audios make me a little it's a little hard to immerse myself whenever I'm referred to as a they. I'm that's not my preferred pronoun. But yeah, point being, I saw that particular person do 2 different versions, and I thought if I ever make an ASMR channel, maybe I'll try doing that. Plus, it's also kind of fun to just change certain lines of dialogue up, depending on the gender, to see if anyone notices, but also just to make it more immersive or add, little details. Especially with the spicier audios, I'm sure you can imagine that it definitely changes depending on the person's preferred pronouns and their preferred gender. Anyway, Joanne Austin asks, do you ever plan on making any more videos with Aaron, Rave, or Bonnie in the future? I just made a video with Bonnie, actually. Aaron, I'm not sure. I'm scared to make more audios with Aaron because he's got quite the following, and I'm really scared to, if I make anything else, I want it to be good. I want it to be enjoyable. I want it to be comforting. And yeah, I'm really scared of screwing that up. Same with Bonnie as well. Or Bonnie and Rave, all three of them, they're the fan faves. Making sequels for them is really tough because, I want to make it good. And I want to make a quality sequel. I want to make a quality video. And I know at the end of the day, people are probably we could literally be smashing eggshells with Aaron and they'd still enjoy the heck out of it. They just want more time with him, and that's understandable. But the content creator within him is like, no, I gotta make it good. I gotta make it quality. Yeah. But to answer the question, maybe as of right now, I don't have a plan for either of them or any of them. But that's not to say I won't do it. It's just right now I'm trying to focus on some other characters for the time being. Malakota Lee asks, who would your dream collab be? Or what's your favorite trope in audios? Dream collab ASMRist? I'm not sure. There's a fair bit of people that be nice to work with, but I imagine I'll never get to. They're either wildly more popular than me, or I will probably just never have the courage to ask them. So I don't know. Favorite trope of audios? Friends to lovers is also always super nice. Wholesome relationships are great too. I like a lot of first time audios, both safe for work and not safe for work. First kiss is always really really, really cute. Taking each other's virginity is very cute as well. Holding hands for the first time can be very adorable when it's all done tastefully, of course, because I'm not really a fan of the audios that make a massive deal out of it or treat it like it's this, I don't know what the right word is. I like when it's done respectfully and maturely, I suppose. That's my favorite, mature audios. In a sense. So apologies. It's a short name, but I'm not quite sure how to say it. It looks like Day. Daya? Daya? Day? D? Whatever. If you could live anywhere on Earth for a full year, where would you go? Oh boy, anywhere on Earth. Wow, that's a lot of options. I've always wanted to go to London. All my British friends tell me that London's overrated, but I don't know. I'd like to go. I'd also like to visit somewhere in Ireland or Scotland. Those are two countries I have a lot of respect for. No, places, country. If it's not a country, I apologize. I'm very bad at geography. Great. Make a fool of yourself. But those are two places I'd love to go to. I used to want to go to Japan, but I like somewhere in Japan, but I've started to change my mind. Nothing against the Japanese. It's just, I started thinking, oh boy, I can't speak Japanese. And they have a culture that's very different from, the Western culture, and I'd be very scared of disrespecting it. So, there are a lot of other, cultures in the world as well, but theirs they're, especially proud of, I think. I'm gonna move on. This question just made it clear how green I am in the rest of the world. So, DieX38 asks, out of all the characters you voice, which one is your favorite? Well, it's hard to pick a favorite because it's like looking at all my children and trying to pick a favorite out of all of them. So, I have no idea. Like I said, Silas was a lot of fun to play. Niles is a lot of fun to play. Kennedy Line was pretty fun. Shineko was also pretty enjoyable as well. Kanji as well. Kanji is a very enjoyable character to make. I haven't done his accent in a while. Oh boy, I've lapsed. Back when I did his audio for My Short Academia, and I had to record like all of the different versions. I'd been speaking as him for like 5 hours, and then for the rest of the day, I was stuck in his voice and could not get out of it. I was like, my mom called me, and I was like, "Oh, hello." Vormik asks, "Why are you a coffee mug but still my cup of tea?" Well, you see, I am a mug, but you can still drink tea out of a coffee mug. You know, that's what it is. And maybe you enjoy tea more than you enjoy coffee. Are we ever going to learn more about the backstory of AW Mug, the founder of Chimera City? We just might, you know? Raven, the listener, studied a little bit about AW, but, you know, not a lot of characters get the opportunity to learn more about AW. But, yeah, I still need to flesh out the lore a little bit more. It kind of pops out all over the place. Yeah. Gory K asks, what's your dating preference for girls or guys? Oh boy, dating preferences. What are some qualities I value in a partner? Mutual respect, definitely something I value quite a bit. Affection, empathy, understanding, loyalty. What I mainly mean is somebody who is willing to accept the fact that our relationship is not going to be perfect. It's not going to always be sunshine and rainbows. We might disagree on some things. We might fight sometimes. We might get angry at one another. But at the end of the day, we're willing to maturely talk about it, accept what happened, move past it, and still be there for each other. Like, you know, also to accept the fact that part of the relationship will also be good things. I would appreciate somebody who I could love and who could love me back, show me affection, support me through what I go through, and same thing, to show them affection, to really like get into their hobbies as well, and basically just vibe with them, I suppose, experience the world with them, learn more about who they are, what they enjoy, what they do, and vice versa, that sort of thing. What else? Also appreciate people that have a sense of humor, you know, that are willing to respect boundaries. That's another good one. You know, somebody who is willing to understand when they've gone too far. You know, people with massive like pride or egos I don't mesh very well with them. People who are never willing to admit that they did something wrong. We probably wouldn't get along if you're like that. Then maybe somebody who's definitely somebody who's willing to accept what I do, you know. Somebody who knows I make these ASMR, someone who knows I make spicy ASMR sometimes, and is totally okay with that, you know? That's always great, too. Somebody who's willing to accept the flawed side of me. Yeah, okay. That's a lot of conditions, but that's like my ideal partner, isn't? Because obviously, you know, no one's gonna meet all those standards, but that's like, you know, if I could have a perfect man or woman in front of me right now, that's what I would want. Granola asks 2 questions. Place someone to visit badly? Well, I just greened myself on that earlier and still flushed right about that, so we're moving on. All-time favorite song? Oh my god, so that changes a lot. As of right now, Hated by Life Itself by Octavia, which, as I've said many times, very relatable song, very hopeful song, very inspiring song, and the name makes it sound incredibly edgy, but I assure you it's a great song. Pix Does Cosplay asks, what music do you like? Well, let me open my YouTube music playlist and list off what I have, and yes, I will answer the question the same way every single time. Let's see. Oh, Karma by Jubiphonic. That's another one I really like. Karma's a beat. Resistant Disorder by Rezodrone for Cyberpunk. Legends Fall from JT Music. Painted Black. Power. True Faith. Livin' La Vida Loca. A friend of mine introduced me to Bring Me the Horizon a little while ago, and I do quite enjoy Bring Me the Horizon. Aviators and Kira. Monster by Kira, Teardrops from Bring Me the Horizon, Outside by Aviators. Yeah. Gotham28 asks, in your spicier videos, how do you say those types of lines? Is it awkward or are you used to it by now? Can you make an audio for an asexual listener? If I had to say something like that, I would have a hard time getting through it. I love your videos and they help me a lot. Thank you. Yes, when I started doing spicier audios, it was definitely very embarrassing. It was a bit awkward to sit in front of a mic and moan and pretend I'm getting pleasured. But after a little while, I did eventually start getting used to it, and I stopped thinking of it as something to be embarrassed about. And so I was like, in this imaginary scenario, I'm helping my partner feel good. I want them to just feel good and enjoy it and relieve some stress. And yeah, now it's like, it's not, I just think of something, it's a natural part of a relationship. It's not something to be embarrassed about. So I'm used to it now. But yeah, it definitely took some time getting used to it. I always record them when I'm by myself. Can I make a note for any sexual listener? Okay, so here's the thing. I like making romance audios. I like making audios that pertain to that in some way. Like every single one of my audios seems to, revolve around that in some way. So I don't know if I could. I don't know what I'd make it about for an ace listener. Nothing against the asexual community. Like, nothing against them at all. It's just, if you're looking for asexual content, maybe look elsewhere. Like, you don't ask a doctor to make you a McBurger or whatever, and you don't ask a War Coffee Mug to make an asexual listener audio because he probably wouldn't do a very good job. That's just the big thing. Like, if anyone has any suggestions, feel free to let me know. Like, feel free to comment on this very video if you'd like. I don't know what I would make it about. And even if I have a basic concept, it's hard to turn that into like 20 minutes of constantly going. So yeah. Zombie Chewer asks, what's your last obsession? Mine's Tyler the Creator. My last obsession? I don't know. Let me think. A lot of the times the videos I'm making kind of reflect my obsession. I was really obsessed with Cyberpunk recently. I wanted to make a Cyberpunk themed D&D campaign. I live streamed a little while ago. Excuse me again. I had a thing for samurai when I was playing through Ghost of Tsushima. I thought that was I was getting really into like samurai culture and that sort of thing. Maybe Monster Hunter right now. I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise, and as a result, I've gotten really into the Monster Hunter lore and the community and such. There was one more. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this one wrong. It looks like Alphonse Malric. Alphonse Malric? What's your favorite season? Love you, heart emoji. Oh, thank you. My favorite season is autumn. It's partially because that's my birthday, but also I love the colors of autumn. I love the temperature. I like being able to wear a jacket or a hoodie. That's where I feel very comfortable. The reddish orangish hue to it also just relaxes me a lot. I like when it's cool outside. And yeah, it makes me feel at peace. Audie Emery asks, do you agree that birds are reptiles and also dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are closest we had to dragons, and so birds are dragons? That's a very bold claim. Let me think. I don't know. I've always thought of birds as avian, not reptiles, so... no, I guess I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm sorry. But that's how I feel. Necton 1.78 asks, what food do you want to try the most? Oh god. Food I want to try. I'm a very picky eater, unfortunately, so it's very difficult for me to pick something. I might have to get back to you on that. Do you have a favorite kind of plushie of some kind? Yes. My plush sheep, Cinnamon. He's very, very far away, but I got him when I was a kid. And he's a really big plushy sheep. Like, when I was little, he was like twice my size. Now he's basically the size of my entire torso. Very big, very huggable, and I used to bring him everywhere. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I would say probably the chicken, if I had to guess, maybe. Because, or I don't know, because the chicken would burst out of an egg, and then that chicken would make more eggs. I don't know. I'd say a chicken that evolved. Don't have to answer the last one. I don't know. But yeah, have a great day. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Well, thank you, Necton. Yeehaw asks, can you just talk about your day? I really like your voice. My day. Let me think. I stayed up very, very late last night. I didn't really mean to, but it kind of happened. I think when I woke up this morning, I don't know, I'm missing a few hours of sleep, but I feel alarmingly fine. But it's probably going to hit me like a truck later tonight. I plan on getting a lot more sleep over the weekend. Then I took a shower. I like to take a shower in the morning. Made some breakfast. Then I edited and uploaded the next part of Bonnie's story and scheduled it to upload at 3 o'clock today. Then I went on my PS4 and played For Honor for a bit and completed my orders. Then I sat down at my desk and thought maybe I should also record the Q&A. And for 40 minutes and 48 seconds, I have been sitting here speaking into a microphone. At 3 o'clock, I will probably be meeting up with my friends on Discord and running Ghosts of Saltmarsh on D&D. Yeah. So Bree asks, what is your favorite type of ASMR roleplay? I guess probably the relationship audios, like the boyfriend audios, as in like when I... Oh wait, is it like... Because I was going to say when I get to play the boyfriend, but do you mean like to listen to? Well, to listen to, same thing. Boyfriend-girlfriend audios are pretty great. I also do enjoy spicier audios from time to time. I also really enjoy audios that are very wholesome, mature, show a lot of trust. First times are great as well. Favorite food? Tacos. I love tacos. I like burgers as well. And there's also a lot of like carrots. I love carrots. They are my favorite vegetable. Tacos are great because they're so customizable. You've got like, hard shells or soft shells to wrap them up or just eat as a little half shell. You can use beef, in which you can like add a lot of seasonings to or butter them up or add like ketchup into the mix or garlic powder. Just careful with the pan. Or you can like use chicken, for instance, that you can dice up like crazy with some sauces as well. You can put lettuce on it, you can put cheese on it, tomatoes, onions. Technically that applies to every food, but tacos especially. I like my tacos with beef with some ketchup and garlic powder on them and a hard shell with cheddar cheese and lettuce, some fresh lettuce. That's my ideal taco. Who or what inspired you to do audios? Well, partially realizing how much of a positive impact they could have on people and being incredibly lonely at the time. And it's a bit difficult to talk about, but one of the people that inspired, because there were a lot of people that inspired me to make audios, but one of them went through some controversy very recently, and I found out they were not the best person. And that was a little disheartening to find out. That's one of my biggest fears as a content creator, that, things are okay for now, but one of these days, maybe things are going to go to my head and I'll make some stupid decisions, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a perfect human being that's always going to make the right choices. I'm sure when I say that there are companies or people that used to be really great that have tragically fallen downhill, I'm sure you can think of a few. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm immune to that. I hope that never happens to me, of course. I plan on that never happening, but I bet they did too. You never know what's going to happen. But I'll try my absolute hardest to keep that from happening. And hey, who knows? Maybe it will happen, and maybe one of these days someone's going to extract this exact voice clip and point it out and be like, man, that's really ironic. Remember when he said that? Look at that now. And everyone's going to laugh at it and they'll find it really funny. And then they'll get enjoyment in making me a laughingstock instead. I just hope that never happens. So, Love Yourself asks, music taste. Do you like metal or rock? If so, favorite artist or band? I'm not the biggest metal fan. I can 100% see the appeal. Like, I don't listen to metal very often. It's not really my thing. But I totally get why people love metal. Metal is unironically pretty metal. Rock I'm also subjective on as well. And there's a lot of rock I like, and, like, classic rock's not really my thing. There are a few exceptions, though. Hotel California, Country Roads. Those are pretty great. Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is one of my all-time favorite songs. Music tastes. Well, let me open up my YouTube music playlist and see what is most recent on it, because that gives you a good view of what I like listening to. City of the Dead by Uriel, Dark to Light, the Seven Deadly Sins rap from None Like Joshua and Tyler Clark, also Zoldyck from Hunter x Hunter, Delicate Weapon from Cyberpunk, In the End by Tommy Prophet, Rip from Creep P, Feet Jackie Extreme, Perfect from Miracle of Sound, Lie by Jubiphonic, and Never Fade Away from Cyberpunk. Yeah. Sen Bon Zakra from Liz Robinette. Maybe Sen Bon Zakra is one of my favorite songs as well. It's one of those songs I always listen to whenever I hear it. Lovely Stars asks, tell me, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? No, I don't know the Muffin Man. Dandelion Fields asks, what's your favorite flower and why? Oh boy, I like the name of lavender. I find lavender very satisfying to say, and it looks very pretty. Rose is kind of a generic choice, but I like roses quite a bit as well. Rose is a nice name too, but also they're a very pretty flower and a very painful one. Ouch. Trilliums also are very symbolic in my country, so I do quite like them as well. Same with poppies, partially for their historical value, and also they are very pretty flowers. And yeah, also for what they represent as well. Lysamar asks, you gotta get rid of one forever. Spaghetti or nachos? Lay, why do you do this to me? Oh, you know how much I love spaghetti and nachos. Oh, God. Nachos, I guess, just because I have spaghetti more. I love them both, but it's hard to sacrifice one, but it's the best of both poisons, I guess. And last but not least, Snivy Fennekin Girl, just your average artist, asks, what's a special kind of treat you like to eat, either on special occasions or while editing? While editing, I like to eat one-handed food that doesn't get grease all over the keyboard. Things like, usually I'll prepare a small bowl of, like, chicken nuggets that aren't greasy, with some carrots, some lettuce, celery, sliced up cheese, just a little pocket of a lot of the things that you need. A lot of the things, with a little drink on the side, but also special treats. Big Turk is my favorite chocolate bar. I like Big Turk quite a lot, but ice cream is also a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't buy it too often, but it's great. I do also sometimes drink soda when I'm working. Mountain Dew Baja Blast is one of my personal favorites. Sprite is my favorite soda. Cherry Pepsi is great as well. Crush is also pretty reliable in a pinch. Dr. Pepper I used to not like, and now it's one of my favorites. Ice cream cake's pretty awesome, because cake's great, ice cream's great. Put them together, you get an awesome treat. And coconut cream pie. I think coconut cream pie is my favorite kind of pie. Lemon meringue and pumpkin is alright too. I'm not really a fan of apple, but coconut cream, personal favorite. And that is everybody's questions. I hope you learned a little something in this really long ramble session. I'm already starting to lose my voice a little bit, so I'm probably going to click off the microphone now. But I hope you found this very informative, and I hope it was relaxing to listen to. Thank you all for being here, and have a good night, coffee mugs.